Greetings of peace, everyone. We're so happy you're here with us today. And today we are going to explore the power to face. But before we do that, I am wondering if you all are just listening to these things and pleasing your ears, or have you actually been practicing and experimenting with them? And if you have, we'd like to hear from you. You could put your explorations in the chat box. You can let us know what you've learned, what you've experienced, what benefits you've taken. And it's an exciting life once you begin to apply these spiritual powers. So Sister Shireen is going to invite us to explore the power to face. And I personally know Shireen, and I want to tell you, she knows about the power to face. She's such a courageous, modern soul. I call her an international soul. Shireen.
Hello, Dorothy Ben. Hello.
Hello.
I am so happy to be here with all of you. And we were having a few technical issues, so I have to spotlight myself, I think. Oh, there you go. There you go. It's wonderful. Thank you for your vision of me. I will take that as a blessing. And yes, we are doing the power to face. I say it with every power, but this power I especially feel is so important. It's like the most important power.
You know what, Shireen? I feel the same way when I go from one power to the next. I said, oh, I love this one. This is my favorite, but they're all delicious.
Yes, they're all very good. This one is very, very important. And it's very important, especially for all of you present, because we are going to go on a journey. So how many of you feel like you are on a journey? Yes, fabulous. Good to see that all of you are on a journey. So let's start with this journey. So you will know why I'm saying that. I'm sure all of you can see my screen. And so the power to face. So the first question we have to ask ourselves is, what is the journey we are on? Everyone is on a journey, right? Some people's journey is like a dead end. Some people are going off on tangents, and some of us, many of us, I'm not just talking about the people present here, many people in the world are going on the right journey. And so what is that journey? And that journey is the hero's journey. The hero's journey. And so why do we call this the hero's journey? And who started calling it the hero's journey is a question we have to ask ourselves. And so the hero's journey was first, let's talk about the power itself.
So spotlight me. I think I'm on spotlight. I tried, but that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we'll first talk about what is the power to face itself, right? And the power to face is the ability. The power to face is the ability to confront and resolve external and internal situations. That is the power to face. And so which of us, who's present right here, or anyone in the world doesn't have a situation going on, either an external situation or an internal situation? We all have. And so the power to face is an important power because it's the ability to confront and resolve external and internal situations. And so it's the ability, or it's the power of being courageous in the face of challenges. It's having faith when faced with tests So we all have tests. We all have to face challenges. So it is having faith. So the power to face also includes having faith when faced with tests. And this power gives us the strength to accept the truth in any situation. And so if you ask me what is the crux of this power, that is what I would call the crux, is not only that we are facing a situation, not only that we are overcoming a test, not only that we are having faith in something, but it is accepting the truth. What is the truth? In any situation, there is an essence of truth. To face and accept that truth in any situation is the power to face. And so it's the power of courage. And so it's the power of courage to overcome inner obstacles that come from false understanding and illusions. So very soon, I'm sure all of you realized when you were on your journey that most all illusions and most all things are self-created, right? Most all bondages, most all illusions are created by the self. So this is the courage to face those inner obstacles and to understand what is it that is the false understanding, the false beliefs I have going on with this within the self. It is to face souls who are hindering our spiritual growth. It doesn't matter who the soul is. It could be our closest friend or it could be our closest relative. But if they are hindering our spiritual growth, then we should have the power to face those souls. And it is the power for going on a hero's journey, on our own hero's journey. Each one of us are on our own hero's journey. And so what happens is we'll first talk about the hero's journey. So very briefly, I'll be very quick. Hero's journey was popularized by a professor called Joseph Campbell, which many of you might know him. He was a very famous professor of comparative religion. And so what he did was he wrote a book in 1949 or something like that. And he called it The Hero with the Thousand Faces. And the reason why he called it The Hero with the Thousand Faces is that he was a professor of comparative religion. So he studied about 1,000 different cultures from around the world. More than that, many cultures he studied from around the world. And he found that every culture had a story, right? Like Hinduism has the story of Arjuna. So every culture had a story like that. Like in Greek mythology, the story of the Odyssey, the story of Odysseus going on this journey. So all of them, and he found that they have a common elements. All of these stories have a common elements, and that's why he called it The Hero with 1,000 Faces. So there is a particular reason why I'm sharing all this with you. And most of all of Hollywood blockbusters, right? If you take the highest grossing Hollywood blockbuster of all time, which is Avatar, the highest grossing animated movie of all time, which is Frozen, they all have the same elements, the same thing as the hero's journey. So what happened was, what Hollywood did was they took Joseph Campbell's work and they created a screenplay, the first screenplay, which was called Star Wars, on these elements. And then they gave it a name, Star Wars, but the story is the same, with just a different setting here and there. And they made a boatload of money. And after that, they start doing that. And so why are they making money? Because people are watching. Why are we watching? Because it is our journey. So they are depicting our journey on screen, but they're depicting it physically, while our journey, spiritual journey, is an internal journey. And so the personal is universal and the universal is personal. And so even though it's a story, it's a myth is something that never was, but always is. So even though it's not a particular story of a particular person, but it is our story because it is our general story. So the elements of the story is there is an ordinary world, and then there is the hero, right? He's sitting and minding his business in the ordinary world, not very satisfied with life. And then he gets the call to go on a journey. And then he meets and accepts a mentor on the journey. Then he crosses some thresholds and faces some enemies. And then he faces some more tests. And then there's deep transformation because of all of the things he faced. Remember, face, the power to face. And so because of the power to face, he crosses thresholds, he faces enemies, he faces tests, and he has transformation. Just remember, if you don't go on a journey, no transformation, no power to face, no transformation. And then finally, he meets his biggest enemy, the biggest villain in the movie, right? And then he overcomes that also. And then he returns with the reward and he finds his life of purpose. So these were the elements of those 1,000 different stories that he found on all over the world. These were the common elements. And so that is our journey too. In our spiritual life too, those elements exist. And to be able to handle those elements, we need the power to face. So when the call comes, right, if we shouldn't refuse the call, because we are sitting in our comfort zone, we shouldn't refuse the call. The call is to go on a spiritual journey. And so for today, I will make it very, very simple. All you have to do today to go on this journey is at the end of the first PowerPoint and the end of the second PowerPoint, we have some practice sessions. I want you to do those practice sessions. So that's your journey today. So who is calling you? What is your call? And just remember this. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. And so what is the call? The call is complete self-realization. If we don't face, right, then we will not have complete self-realization. Facing is not other people. We are not facing other people. It is our own inner demons, our own insecurities, our own procrastination, our own thinking that, oh, some spiritual quick fix will fix me, right? Instead of actually doing the work. Those are all the things we have to face. And if we don't shine a light on how to experience joy and what is preventing it, then we are not facing. So we shouldn't just, oh, this sounds pleasing to my ear, so let me go do that. This sounds whatever. No. Pick one thing and just do the work. What I mean by that is pick something and keep practicing. Practice, practice, practice. So accepting the mentor. The mentor is, in our case, is the Supreme Soul, because the Supreme Soul is the only being capable of being a mentor to all of us on the spiritual path. And because the Supreme Soul is the purest soul there is, he purifies the soul. He removes the alloy within the soul. And just remember, the hearts and minds of human beings are too fragmented to be good mentors. So if you want, let's say, you want to learn gymnastics, right? You go to the best gymnastic coach. Let's say you want to compete in the Olympics. You go to the best gymnastic coach. You don't go to someone else. So in the same way, you want to go on a spiritual journey, we have to connect with the Supreme Soul. And so God is the ocean of spiritual knowledge, and we need spiritual knowledge to face. Just remember this, we need spiritual knowledge to face. We need understanding, because the mind, the soul is operating under a lot of false understandings. And so finally, the Supreme Soul is pure and he is the purifier. So facing your enemy. What is your enemy? Your enemy is, we are leaving the ordinary world and entering a special world, right? In the ordinary world, enemy, you could say, oh, my mother-in-law is my enemy. My neighbor is my enemy. This person in my office is my enemy. No, they're different rules. The special world, the spiritual world has different rules. The enemy is unseen. So the enemy is our own negativity. It's our own, you could say Ravan, we call it. So your own illusions, your own negativity, that is your enemy. And we have to remember that the enemy is not outside of ourselves. We each have created the hell that we are living in. That's a hard one to accept, but that's something we have to face. That whatever situation that is going on in your life, you helped create it. And see, the power to face is not like, oh, soft or love power, right? Remember, it's a truth power. And truth power is we sit down and face what we need to face. Don't hide behind anything. So transcending, so one of the things we also have to face is our self-sabotaging patterns. So we have to transcend these self-sabotaging patterns, which ultimately can and will help us cross the threshold to this new world. So in especially the power to face, Maya or illusion is ever present. Power to face is just the power like that. So we have to confront Maya or illusion. So what is Maya? It could be social inhibitions, or what will someone think? What will this happen? How will that happen? So also societal attitudes about God, right? If a whole segment of population think, oh, God is punishes, right? That's Maya. I don't need to think that, because God does not punish. And so that's something else we have to face, our own doubts, our own fears, refusing to go on the journey, refusing to do the work, refusing to do the practices. That is also Maya, procrastination, inertia and procrastination. I don't want to do, I'm set in my ways, I'm not going to do it. So it's not like we're all lazy sitting on our, whatever and not doing anything. It's not like that. This is not doing our spiritual work. That is what we are procrastinating. That is what we are being inertia about. Insecurities, what will happen to me when I grow old? Will I have enough money? Who will take care of me? Whatever insecurities, right? All of those insecurities, all of that is Maya. Our own weaknesses. And so we also have to understand the tests that we will get. Because if the hero knows that it's going to get a test, then the hero is prepared. The hero has to face and overcome the hero has to face and overcome certain ordeals and tests. So don't worry about the messenger. If someone is getting angry with you, right, just think of them as a messenger. Because if you don't have anger in you, it doesn't matter if 100 people get angry with you, you will not get angry with them. Anyone who is getting angry with you is just a messenger. So we have to learn to see past the messenger. There has to be a lot of cleansing in the soul. We have to overcome a lot of our sense attachments to, I want to watch YouTube, whatever, right? Relationships, friends. I'm not saying to get rid of relationships. I'm saying that certain relationships prevent us from progressing on our spiritual journey. That doesn't mean we get rid of it. We just recognize it. We understand for what it is. We are loving and detached. We are not advocating getting rid of anyone. Loving and detached. Society, what will society do, say, all of those things. So transformation. So if I do not cross these tests, right, then there is no transformation. But if I do, there is transformation. So what happens is, what prevents transformation is I keep looking at the past, and I keep looking at the past with rose-colored glasses. Oh, it was so good. It was so nice. If it was so good, it was so nice, then why am I still thinking about the past? Why am I not in the moment? Right? And so, or feeling guilty about the past, or, the other thing to have transformation in our lives, we need to have spiritual discipline. If you want the power to face, you have to have spiritual discipline. If you don't have the power to face, no spiritual discipline. So spiritual discipline, yes. Power to face, yes. No power to face, no spiritual discipline. So whatever it takes, we stay on a disciplined path. So we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. And so what are we breaking? What are we transforming? False beliefs, body consciousness, ego, whatever we have to learn in order to grow, in order to progress. Because when the hero gets on a journey, the story has to progress. It can't just be stuck in one point. Right? In you go to a movie and you watch a hero, the movie is constantly moving. That's why you go to the movie. If you don't see the movie moving, then you wouldn't go. And so our demons are enemies. So as a wise person, we understand, we face, and we understand that these enemies will bring about my self-transformation. So any challenge, remember any challenge. So this is like the mantra for the power to face. Any and every challenge is a perfect opportunity for transformation. Perfect opportunity for transformation. I should realize that if I want something positive in my life, then I have to make space for it. I can't have whatever old patterns of thinking, old patterns of doing things, all the negativity. I can't have all of that. And then also think, oh, I want something. You have to make room for this. And so if I want to change my life, I have to change. The soul has to change. Then external will change. So what happens is many times we think, oh, if I change this in the external world, then maybe I'll feel happy. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to change the external world so I can be happy internally. But what the power to face teaches us is you want to change externally, then you have to transform internally. And so finally, all our lives, why are you all here? You could have been doing anything on a Sunday morning. Why are you all here? Because we are all on an internal search for our greatness. We might not articulate it that way, but believe me, that is what we are looking for, all of us. We are looking for our own greatness. So this is practice 1. So to be good with those who are good is common, but to be good with those who are bad is known as having the power to face. So what is the practice? Invoke a person or situation and face it or them head on and give good wishes and pure feelings. Right? Just face it. Don't run away. Don't think, oh, it'll go away. Don't think, oh, it's that person's problem. They are not having good wishes for me. No, I have to face them, and I have to not only face them, but I have to give them good wishes and pure feelings. And practice 2, become a Mahavir. So a Mahavir is a brave warrior. So the power to face the hero's journey is all about becoming a Mahavir, a brave warrior, a great warrior, and begin to challenge Maya. So we heard, right, all of the ways Maya comes. So we have to face our own insecurities, our own doubts. And not only that, every time you face, no, okay, this is Maya. I recognize and I say, this is Maya. But I also should understand that as the hero, I have a right to be victorious. So that second part is very important. I have a right to be victorious. God is my mentor, the Supreme Soul is my mentor, and victory is my birthright. And that's how we face. Acha. So we'll do a meditation. And today we have to finish a little early. So I'm going to try to finish early enough where we can take in questions. But if you're not able to take questions this week, for sure we will do next week. So let's do a meditation on the power to face. So you all understood what a Mahavir is? All of you understood what a Mahavir is? A Mahavir is not just, Hanuman or, Mahavir Jain, the 24th Tirthankara of the Jain religion. Not only that, you can also be a Mahavir. And that is a brave warrior. And that is face your own weaknesses, your own insecurities, your own doubts. So take a deep breath. Just sit back, relax. And as you sit and relaxed, see yourself as that being of light, the soul. And talk to yourself very quietly and gently. And remember that you, the soul, are on a hero's journey. And ultimately, the end of the journey will lead you to your victory. And you have the best mentor in the world, the Supreme Soul. He's available for you to take you on this journey. He's guiding you. The Supreme Soul's responsibility is to guide us. And our responsibility is to follow the directions given by the Supreme Soul. That is, consider myself to be a soul and remember the incorporeal Supreme Soul. I am a soul and I'm here with the Supreme. And as a hero, and because I have the Supreme as my backbone, my victory is guaranteed. in the comfort of being in the Supreme's presence, I invoke people or a person or a situation that I feel a little insecure or afraid about. I invoke them and just see them as a soul and see the situation for what it is, that it is an opportunity to help me progress. And I just give good wishes and pure feelings. So take a moment now again and give good wishes and pure feelings. And give yourself, the soul, good wishes and pure feelings. Talk to yourself and say, I'm a hero. I don't need to be afraid of anything. I can face this because I have God on my side. And with those powerful words and thoughts, come back to here and now. Om Shanti. Om Shanti, everyone. So, this other part of the journey, in the other part of the journey, let's talk about further, right? The further about the power to face. And in the beginning of the PowerPoint, in the first PowerPoint, I spoke about the power to face is the ability to confront and resolve external and internal situations. And so, what are these internal situations? And how can I be courageous in the face of challenges? And how can I have faith when faced with tests? So when our inner strength is restored by knowledge, this is how I can do it. Spiritual knowledge and spiritual power, we can overcome our insecurities. So how can we acquire the power to face? We have to start somewhere. And the way we start is spiritual knowledge and spiritual power. So spiritual knowledge, as many of you have attended our Story of Immortality sessions, that is spiritual knowledge for us. So I want you to go to your nearest center, take the course, and listen to spiritual knowledge. And spiritual power is received from the Supreme Soul. He's the Almighty, and that's where we receive power from. No human being can give you spiritual power. God is the only one who can actually give you spiritual power. And so one of the things we have to do is we have to be able to look at any situation and get to the truth of that situation. What is the truth of that situation? So power to face really starts with faith in the self. So faith in the self means not faith in Shireen, right? When I say faith in the self, I don't mean I have faith in this body. No. Faith in the self means faith in the Supreme soul and faith in the spirit, in the soul, right? It's not like self-realization. That's what it means. It's not like, oh, I like my pizza with whatever they put nowadays, pineapple. It's not like, oh, that's what self-realization is. Oh, I know so much of myself. I don't like pizza with pineapple. No, that's not the point here. The point is spiritually, who am I? I am a soul, and that having faith in that. So there are three aspects, right, about the soul. It's what is the soul? Where did the soul come from? And the third one is how does the soul play its part in the world today? So all three, having faith in all three. The courage to deal with any person or situation. And this faith has to be based on understanding and experience. And this power helps us conquer all kinds of fears, insecurities, doubts. So we were talking about the spiritual warrior, right? As a spiritual warrior, as Mahavir, as the brave warrior, I embrace my own journey and place myself as a hero in it. I embrace my own journey. It's not like, oh, I'm okay the way I am. No, I have to get on the journey. And I am the hero of my own journey. People come and go, but you are the hero of your journey. And every challenge that comes, they're just different rungs on the ladder that take me to self-realization, to my eternal self, into who I am. And the power to face as a spiritual warrior, as Mahavir. If I become a Mahavir, I develop self-worth, inner strength, and self-knowledge. And so the first one is the ability to face one's flaws and fears. So pick a flaw or a fear that you have and face it. Ability to stand up for what we believe in. Right? It's not like, oh, hide it. Oh, yeah, I shouldn't tell anyone I'm going to the Brahma Kumaris. I'm going to hide it, right? No, stand up for what we believe. And this is very important when we did the power of tolerance. So the counterpart to the power of tolerance is the power to face. So many times, right? I can't just say, if someone is beating me up, I can't say, oh, let me tolerate. No. If someone is beating me up, what is it that, so why do I feel so insecure that I have to take this beating? So power of tolerance has to be balanced, has to be integrated with the power to face. Nothing cannot cope. Nothing is too fierce that we cannot cope, right? Or too fearsome. Everything, anything, we can face and we can cope. So again, to develop this power, we have to fill the self with spiritual knowledge and meditation. And the last one is we have to stop worrying. Just stop it. Every time you worry, just tell yourself, stop it. Because there's nothing to worry about. We can face everything, we can cope with everything, and everything will be fine. Because every challenge is an opportunity for me to face and to regain my original self. So power to face is about letting go of body consciousness, transformation. So we have to be able to see are glimpses of our original and eternal selves. And not only that, when we transform, right, we go into a new world of possibilities. When I transform, the world transforms. So we discover sight, divine insight. So this is really the power that gives us divine insight. And so as you face, right, as you become a Mahavir, as you go on a hero's journey, you will begin to notice the changes in you. And also what happens is when other people, initially they might, put some obstacles, but I've noticed as time goes on, they will also appreciate you and look at you with fresh eyes. Just remember something else about the power to face, right? The greatest illusions give us the greatest sorrow. So what are these great illusions? Oh, my body is going to go. No, we're eternal beings and the body goes, we'll get another one. That doesn't mean I don't value life, but I don't need to fear it. And when you feel trapped and hopeless and, no, there's nothing you cannot face. Just stay, face, and overcome. Whatever it is, I must face these insecurities inside. I must face these enemies that are inside of us, and I must face it now. And I need to have faith in the self, and I need to make sure God is my mentor. And just remember that I take one step of courage and God will give me 1,000 steps of help. That's a guarantee. So anything, right, will lead me deeper into my eternal self. So overcoming these obstacles will transform the hero, into a master. So like I said, the power to face is the opposite of the power of tolerance. So we receive power through understanding, through wisdom, and through the Supreme Soul. And also, one of the things is once you know and recognize yourself, you become fearless. And another thing is if you love everyone, right, you will be fearless. Fear comes when we dislike people, when we're not sure about people. No, love everyone. Don't have any dislike for anyone. And then there's no problem in facing. You will become fearless. So this is practice 1. So when inner demons, such as limiting beliefs, cynicism, oh, this is wrong and that is wrong, and addiction rear their heads, I slay these demons with this awareness. I, the soul, use my right to God's power, and the whole play, the cosmic play, will culminate in my victory. I, the soul, use my right to God's power, and the cosmic play will culminate in my victory. Practice 2. Whenever any situation comes, consider that to be your teacher. It teaches you to tolerate and to face, right? So any person, any situation, what has it come to teach you? In practice 3, this is the last practice. Make sure you don't have any enemies or you will experience fear. So enemies means fear. No enemies, love everyone means fearless. Love everyone and you will be fearless. That I should not be afraid of anything or anyone. And ask yourself this question: how much love do I have for everyone? Acha. So let's do a very brief meditation. Again, I want you to take a deep breath and become the hero of your own story. You, the soul, the animating force of this body, the conscient being, is the hero, the master. In its purest state, you, the hero, have complete control of your story. And the power to face is your journey back to that control. Journey back to being the hero of your own story. As a spiritual hero, you realize you're a soul on a journey. You realize you have to acquire a lot of powers and virtues. You realize you have to face a lot of enemies, like your own doubts and insecurities. And most importantly, you understand that the Supreme Soul is your mentor, is here, right here with you, helping you face. So I, the soul, am a hero of my own journey. And I have the help of the Supreme Soul and this journey will have complete suffering, and I will understand who I am and the power I have. With that thought, come back to here and now. Om Shanti. So, you have questions, anyone? Dorothy Ben, we can't hear you.
Yes, you can.
Now we can. So we have about 6 minutes.
Right. There are a few questions, but I want to say I really enjoyed your presentation. And my takeaway is that as is your awareness, so is your journey and your power. So it's all about the awareness that you decide to choose. But we do have a few questions here. And the first one is give us an example of two of the hero's journey in your life.
So many, right? I'll pick one. I think when I was going through my cancer situation, there was really times when just the thought something was going on in my head where I did not want to, I didn't want to do anything. I was really, feeling very low. And I remember at that time thinking about this, you take one step and you'll get 1,000 steps of help. I remember one day getting up and I really didn't want to do anything that day. I just wanted to sit in my room, sit in a corner and not do anything. And so what I did was, I remembered this. I said, if I take one step, then I will get 1,000 steps. If I take half a step, I will get 500 steps. If I take 1/4 step, I will get 250 steps, right? And so that day I just got up. I said, just get up and go read the Murli, which is our, where we get our wisdom from, our daily knowledge base. And so I did. I got up and read the Murli, and would you believe it? I got so much strength. I don't think I was ever that low again.
Okay. Do you have another story, or is it?
Another story. When I am dealing with situations with people, so I have to, there's a lot of complications with personalities and all of those things. And so what I've noticed is, I don't want to mention names. What I've noticed is there was this one time this person was really, not doing what they were supposed to do. Like, would talk to me a certain way in front of me on my face, and then behind my back do all kinds of things, say all kinds of things to people and to create a ruckus. And I just faced that person. I said, no, I'm not going to reject this person. I'm just going to give this person good wishes and pure feelings. And would you believe it? I think this person is one of my closest, friends now, because I feel that transformation, that good wishes and that pure feelings really helped.
Great. Someone says this is an incredible power, such a wonderful power. Thank you. And another one says, great enlightening experience, explained so simply and graciously. And there's another question here. And the question, I'm kind of going to combine two together here. How to pick and choose which to tackle, and for how long before moving on to the next? Or should we?
Power?
Yes, or no, yes.
Or situations.
The demons inside.
Oh, the demons.
The face,
whichever is present first, whatever you are facing right now, whatever is coming to in your mind right now, that's the first one you have to tackle. You sit down and you think whatever comes to your mind, right? Whichever insecurity, whichever person, whatever comes to your mind, that's the first one you have to do. And then you do it enough times and you will know once you start doing it, when is it that you have to move on.
Okay. And will this PowerPoint presentation be available to all of us? And of course, we do have it on YouTube, all the powers that we've been going over. And there's another question here. How do you recognize a call?
Okay, I'll give you a big hint. Right now, this is the call. Go and practice. Practice every power. Do all of the practices that we shared, right? It's not just something you listen on a Sunday morning. That's how you know you're listening to the call. The call is to do the spiritual practice.
Okay. And there was a term you used, spiritual discipline, and I thought maybe perhaps you would like to, go into that a little bit more. What is a spiritual discipline for our listeners?
It's a good question, Dorothy Ben. What happens is some people are very comfortable in seeking, right? They think, this is what I heard from this young man recently. Oh, all of these spiritual groups are here and it's a buffet, and I will take this from this, and I will take this from this, and I'll take this from this, and I'll take this from this. But what the person is not realizing is that they're not really sitting down and doing the work. You can't just go and say, I'll take this from this, this from this, this from this. Pick something and do the work. Whatever work that is required, right? I'm not saying you all come to the center and become Brahma Kumaris. I'm not saying that. Whatever speaks to you, but do the work. Go within, do the work. And that is discipline, and you have to do it every day, and you have to do it twice a day. Let's take meditation. It's not like, oh, some groups say, I don't need to meditate that much. I can do it this way, that way. No, you decide to do meditation half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening. That is spiritual discipline. Do it for 2 years, half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening. If you give it up anytime in between, you're not being disciplined about it. And you're not going to get as much as you need to get out of something till you have spiritual discipline. Because Maya will talk you out of it, which our time's up, by the way. Let's have a minute of meditation.
Are we having our minute now?
Yes, right now. Right, we don't have much time right now. So sorry to cut it off short. Next week, we will come back to you. Om Shanti, everyone. So do go on to our YouTube channel and listen to the powers. And you can send us an email. If you have any questions, we will answer the email. Thank you. Om Shanti.
And you can see the YouTube channel address, the URL on your screen. Take a shot of it.
Thank you. Om Shanti, everyone.
Om Shanti.